Like, how did you deal with that?
I'm supposed to be the host, AJ. I asked, like, no, I'm kidding.
This guy over here. And everyone's like, "Why are you learning so many languages?" And the funniest answer I always give is, "I need to know when people are talking shit."
Ruin it for them? Okay, party pooper.
But would you like a plate of food for your troubles of coming by? Kind of shit.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Apartment 308 YouTube channel. How y'all doing today? I hope y'all doing pretty good. You're on the podcast called It's Been a While, where I get together with a friend I haven't seen in a long time. We just catch up one-on-one, just, talk about stuff and just learn something from each other. And today's guest, here I have AJ. Say hello, AJ.
What's up, everybody? BG, thank you for having me on here. And let's go ahead and get this thing going. What you got to say, my guy?
Well, first off, thank you for joining us today, AJ. Like the show name suggests, it's been a while since we had like a one-on-one talk with each other, bro.
Oh, real talk. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a long minute, my guy.
And also, I would like to say, you're the first male guest I had on the show.
No. Hold up. I'm sorry. First male guest?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Every other guest I had, they're all female.
Oh, look at this guy over here. So yeah, BG. What can I say?
I know what y'all gonna. I know what y'all gonna say in the comments. Don't say it, please. Don't.
And it's all good, man. I will say this though. I'm honored as your first male guest. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's pretty crazy because I figured you would have had the boys on here a couple times, but. I feel like that's more of like that group thing that y'all got going on, yeah?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, it's so weird. I gather all the guys up from like the group shows, like let's hang out and this or that, but never really I did like a one-on-one for It's Been a While. I don't know why.
I feel it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like every other guest I had on this are all female, and actually, the last episode, which I hope is released by the time I'm like done editing, my friend Hina. She was like the first like American guest on the show so you're following up, but you're the first male guest I have. So
hey, that's what's up. I'm definitely honored on that, my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are we gonna be talking about today?
So today here on It's Been a While, AJ and I are gonna be talking about pretty much what it was like meeting international exchange students. This is something that me and AJ have both shared ever since, well, at least when I came to the university. But you had like way, way more experience before I came over, so we're going to be talking about that for a while. If you guys want to hear more on our take on our experiences on meeting international students, please subscribe to Apartment 308, like the podcast, comment, and share it with all your friends. All right, so yeah, let's just jump right into it. So from what I understand, AJ, is that you actually worked at the international department in our university. So how long ago did you start working there?
Oh man, I'll say this. It's kind of funny because actually working there, it's been some time, and like I've always just been floating around, and I didn't get like the official title of working there until maybe a few years ago. But
Wait, really?
Yeah. Surprise.
This whole time I thought you were like an official like member of the team like that.
Let's just say I was kind of brought in, I just somehow kind of just snuck my way in and all that good stuff.
It almost sounds like it's like a freelance job, if anything. Kind of.
In a sense. Yeah, in a sense, it is kind of like that. Let's see. Sorry, my shift keys are going pretty crazy right now. I might need to switch my key buttons real quick.
Shift keys?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it keeps telling me. It's like, oh, do you want to have this going? I'm like, wait, what? Hold up. my apologies, everybody. This is gonna get a little weird, but yeah. As far as just going through like the whole process, working with the office, like I said, it was one of those things that I was kind of like an unofficial member. Like I was always around, But it was one of those things where I didn't get to like the whole like bare bones of it, like, being a part of like events, like officially, as a staff member. But it wasn't until maybe, like I said, just a few years ago when, they had called me and they wanted to talk to me about a few things. And then, just just like that, I became official member of, the international team. And it was pretty fun. It was a whole new experience. And I was just, ready to take on anything. I was like, okay, how different is this going to be, from what I've been doing for the past few years? And then, yeah, obviously I'm going to get a few more responsibilities and whatnot. But
Right.
to be fully honest, it ended up just being, what I was doing for the past, say, I want to say 2.5 years, maybe. I don't know. I lost count of when I first started doing it.
Oh, okay, because I was about to ask, was this before or after I came to the university?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of lost track, dude. It was just one of those things that, everyone, well, majority of the international students, they would just come up to me, just ask questions, and I would do my best to, direct them to the correct people, just so that way, they can get their answers.
The correct people, he says.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what were kind of your basic duties while you were quote unquote working for them?
Some of the things that I pretty much did, like working there, I obviously the main concern was check-in period. So
Check-in period.
every the check-in period, that was a big thing that they needed help on, because as check-in period for any, if for any of y'all that has gone to school, you guys know how hectic it is, coming in, either as a first year student or even an
Oh,
international student, just going through the whole process of, okay, can I see your papers, I guess, if that's the right way to put it.
papers,
So can I see,
please.
yeah, and he's like, can I see your documents, this and that, okay, go to the next step where you work on housing, you get your keys for your dorm, and all of that jazz, dude. And especially for international students, they came a few days early just so that they can, get ahead of the game, get comfortable, you know, slowly get over the jet lag, even though it's not as easy as that.
Oh
And
yeah.
oh man, I'll tell you this much: I've seen it all. I've definitely seen it all, and I feel for them. I can only just imagine being on a plane or being stuck at an airport for who knows how long, and then finally, getting to the school and then checking in. Like that whole process is nerve wracking. Even for me, and I'm a local kind of guy.
You just want to make sure that they're okay, if there's about 200 students come in, you make sure 200 students are coming in. Something like that.
Yeah, you always want to make sure that you have everyone on lock, dude. Because I know there have been situations where we thought that students were gonna like show up, but then ended up not showing up, and we were just like,
Oh
"What do we do?
yeah.
Like, what do we do about this?" But then further down the line, that's when we get emails saying that they suddenly
Just dropped
um,
off.
yeah, kind of just like they ended up pulling away from the school and not showing up, and decided not to come through. And it's
Interesting.
one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes there's information that gets lost in the whole transaction, and next thing you know, it's just like, in my case, I saw a list of people and I still have people missing, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why haven't they showed up? They were supposed to come
Oh
through at
my
this time,
gosh.
and I never got an answer back, and that was that was
That
tough.
I know that does sound scary because
Oh, it
actually
sure was, man.
the funny thing is back in the dorms my second year college, yeah, like I said in what was it, episode 2 of Let's Hang Out, originally I did not stay in apartment 308. I was in a different room. The thing is, in 308 there was supposed to be two other international students moving in there. What was it, 2 weeks after the semester started, and those two students never showed up. That's when me and my other roommate looked at each other. It's like, should we steal those beds before anyone else does? We're like, yeah. So I'm like, and then in my head, even still to this day, I'm like, where were those other two international students that were supposed to take our rooms? What happened to them? Where are they? I hope they're okay.
Yeah, you have a point there. It's one of those things that we think about. It's like, okay, I wonder. I hope everything is good. And a whole week later, we're just kind of like, what were we talking about on the? Who is it? Is it just us two? all right, let's just keep going. I mean,
Yeah,
sad to say,
that's pretty
it's
much what
horrible to
happened.
say.
That's pretty much what like one of the guests said. They're like, "Oh, so we just have an entire apartment to ourselves? Sweet. Oh wait, these other two guys want to move in? Okay."
It's like, oh yeah, I guess that'll work. I was enjoying having the place by myself, but hey, more the merrier, I guess.
I am sorry if you're like tuning into this specific person I'm talking about, but we're not saying your name for a reason. So
Yeah, it's one of those things that, trust me, like I said before, me and BG, actually, we know each other like in real life. And it's kind of habit where when we talk about certain things, we'll just name drop, but then at the same time, with us putting stuff out like this, we for obvious reasons, we just can't do that.
it's my number one rule. We can't talk about like actual names, but like locations and cities are like okay. We can't say like
My
specific names.
my guy, I would love to do so, but I'm high key not trying to dox myself.
Oh no, trust me, I'm still not sure if I docked myself on YouTube or not.
There's only one way to find out.
So that's kind of like your basic duties and kind of like your like a little bit of a brief history of when you started. So out of curiosity, like which countries did you mostly meet like the international students from? Like how many countries did you meet them from?
Oh, that is a good question. That is a very, very good question right there. Now that I think about it, I think Korea and Japan were the
Oh
two
yeah.
that I definitely like met a lot of people from. And that was super crazy. Like when the whole thing happened, how can I think about it now, that kind of that we're talking about it, it went from literally just having a group of, I want to say 5 or 6 people, and then it just skyrocketed and like everything flashed like right before my eyes, dude. It was nuts.
What do you mean by that? Like
Let's just say this, probably the first person that I started hanging out with from school, is was a student from Korea, and it
mhm.
was it was kind of it was weird. We just we met each other, and it was super super awkward. Like I kid you not, like I was there, and it was both of us just kind of sitting like across from each other and not knowing what to say. And me, I try to make small talk. I really try to. Like I
Right.
try to make small talk with someone, just to get something going. But
Right.
literally, dude, like the every answer I would get would just be like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And
Damn.
even and my personality, I was like, "What am I gonna do with this?" Like I'm like, do I just keep trying? Do I just give up? But
Social activity help.
yeah,
I need
yeah,
help with
straight
social
up.
activity.
Yeah, man. After like a while, we somehow, found something that we were very, or something that we both enjoyed. And I think that was the weirdest part, because that one thing that we did enjoy was completely different, just because of the fact that I met so many people before, but didn't have the same, hobbies or similarities or just things that I like. I was like, what the heck? So immediately, it's kind of like finding that one person, like when let's put this for example, like you're talking about a game that, and then you're trying to talk to people about it, and they can't really say much because they don't know about it. And then when you
Right.
finally find that one person that does and actually knows how things work, you're like, yo, we are gonna talk hard about this.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly how it was for me and Homeboy when we first met. And then after that, it became a little bit easier because we had something to talk about. We were able to carry on a conversation, and what seemed like we were just hanging out for, say, what, 30 minutes ended up being like 4 hours, and it was super crazy.
Holy yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's how friendships like pretty much start. Like as soon as you find the one thing both of you have in common, you're like, there's the magic. And funny enough, AJ, when you mentioned like finding that one game to talk about, since I play a lot of League of Legends and I'm every time I bring that up to one of the Korean students, most likely they say, "Oh, I play it too." I'm like, "Okay, what rank are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm diamond." I'm like, "Bitch, I ain't even bronze. What the fuck?"
I feel like one thing in general is that you, especially, I know exactly how you feel when it comes to the Korean students, when they're like for real gamers. that is
Yeah.
probably the toughest thing right there because you have no idea what you're gonna get. It's like, is it gonna be like you are like faker level status, or
No.
you just like a casual
No.
kind of person.
Yeah, no, I'm a casual gamer, though this season I did try to start ranking, but fucking my team sucks. But yeah, but honestly, like, what's also another funny thing is like when I play with them, like they have an NA account and we play together. Surprisingly, they don't flame me at all for being bad. I'm like, I thought you guys were gonna flame me for this. I'm like,
I'm
oh
not
no,
gonna
you're not.
front. I'm not gonna front. I've definitely been in that boat, and I've definitely been on the section where I've been like flamed. They would just be cussing me out in Korean, and I'm like, thank God I don't 100% understand what you're saying. Say, because it's not gonna bother me. But it's one of those
Dude.
things that you always want to be able to pull your weight. But that's I mean that can be with anybody though, not even just like the Korean students. But my experience with them, that was fun. But to continue on, like you were talking, like going on with people, like what country did you meet like a lot of people from? Like I said, Korea, Japan, and then suddenly, it was like France, Germany, and then Taiwan came out of nowhere, and it just kept growing. It was pretty crazy. I wouldn't ever like thought at any point in my life that I would meet people from all around the world. Like it's still shocking to this day. It's pretty crazy.
Dude, I totally feel that because ever since I came to this university, like I never thought myself I would meet so many like international students. Like, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. It's like mostly you do see students from Japan and Korea come in, but also there's those like select like few other countries that you also meet in the university. Like, there's this one person from Vietnam I met, another person from Thailand, and then we met, of course, some of those students from mainland China. Which honestly, for me, when I found out that some kids came from the mainland China, I'm like, you guys are allowed to come here. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying.
That's a topic that we gonna save for another day. Ooh
I'm
wee.
sorry. I'm sorry for saying that, but just like I
It's just our ignorance from like the beginning. It's like, wait, what? Is that's a thing? That's
exactly,
kind of
yeah.
it's kind of like how when we get like Americans get that stereotype from people from around the world. Oh, and another group that I forgot to mention. Oh man, the homies from down under, man, Australia and New Zealand.
Oh,
Those cats, ooh, though, oh, they served energy. Like that was probably like the chillest people, but the craziest people at the same time. Man, I've met like different people like with different vibes, and it was amazing, man. Like every time they would just like talk to me, it would be like the most hardcore accent, but I would love it, dude. like the Aussie and New Zealander, like the Aussie and Kiwi accent, dude, man. If I always had people telling me that they had a hard time understanding, I was like, how? Like, how is it hard to understand? And I was like, yeah, I get it if you're like super like if the accent is strong in any case, it's going to be tough to get at first. But when you hang around them enough, dude, you're able to catch anything that they say. It's not that hard. But
yeah.
everyone has. I'm not going to front. I had some hard of hearing with some of the people that would talk to me to the point where I thought they weren't talking to me, and I felt kind of bad of that. But you know,
Oh, one more thing too is like this is something like okay. So first off, shout out to my Sri Lankan best friend. You know who you are. If you are like listening in, like thank you for being a cool bro. But also, I would it still surprised me as like a freshman. I was a freshman at the time when I first met this dude. I was like, I never thought I would meet the day like I would meet someone from like Sri Lanka or like because again because of my ignorance I and also too like back then I was like super shy like I was silent most of the time and I didn't know much back then but honestly after meeting like him the students from China and of course Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, all those other countries I'm like I learned a lot more. It's definitely
I
eye
feel you.
opening.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Oh, but let
So
me tell you this, man. For y'all listeners, like BG mentioned, how he was a shy guy in the beginning. Oh, wait, you have no idea.
I had
Like,
that personality saying, "Don't talk to me," but then once you get to know me, then you can see I'm a very like talkative person.
dude, I'm like, I'm not gonna front. When I first met you, there were like those awkward moments, and all that. But we like after a while we were able to kind of just hit it off. But yeah, you like I'm not gonna lie. When I first met you, you had like the type of vibe where it's like, well, you can say hi, you're gonna twiddle your fingers and then run away.
Yeah, no, like I said, I was a very like shy like kid freshman year, but then like I said, like I took a risk in like opening up to like certain people. The guy from Sri Lanka, you, and of course like other people I know. I'm like, this is my actual friend group. This is the people I feel like I can be okay with.
Oh, real talk. What? So when it came to you opening up, dude, I remember we tried hardcore in order to get that going. It was like that. What was it? Have you ever seen that video of that dude husking a coconut with his teeth, like he's biting into it and just like tearing it
A
apart?
coconut? No, I've never seen that one.
Oh, dude, you got to see that, dude. It's super wild. It's like this. It's like hardcore Islander, and he literally just tears open a coconut with his teeth. Like he gets like the front of it, bites into it, and then starts tearing it apart, and then finally gets it. He's able to break it, and I felt like that was completely you, dude. Like at some point, it took forever. Like we were trying to like get you to open up, and then we're just like, you know what? Forget this. Like I'm just gonna tear right into it until. Not the best way to put it, but yeah, that's pretty much how hardcore we went. And then like as time went on, you were able to express yourself a lot more, and then that was cool, dude. Because like you said, that was a thing that a lot of us, in our group of friends wanted to do, just because this is gonna be one of those things that you're gonna know us like for the long time, for the long run. We want to be ourselves around each other. We want to be
Right.
able to say what we are, say what's on our mind, and just be real. That's like I think that's like the
Exactly.
biggest thing is just want to be real.
I feel like that was like an also. I feel like that's a common thing with like most Asians. Is like we start to be like shy around each other, but then once like we take a risk in opening up, that's when we're like, okay, now we're cool.
It took you to move to a whole ass another city in order to get that going.
Exactly.
Hey, but like I said, whatever works. Yeah, I can just imagine. When I was going to the university, even though like I wasn't like straight up full timer over there,
Yeah.
it was one of those things that yeah, it was kind of weird for me to like talk to a bunch of people because before I was so used to just being by myself, kind of just doing my own thing. And then it actually wasn't until I met the international students where they were like, "Oh, let's go do this together," and I was like, "For real? Okay, well, yeah, let's
Honestly,
go."
that was the
Uh,
same for me.
it was pretty crazy. Oh, dude, like I will say this though, like, have you? You know what? This is a rhetorical question. How did you react when you ran into that situation where there was like the biggest language barrier, like right in front of you?
Oh, I was gonna ask that like later on, but I guess we can talk about it now.
I
Yeah,
know, man. Like since we're on that topic, just being able to like go
the
together and open
language.
up with hands, like how did you deal with that?
I'm supposed to be the host, AJ. I asked. No, I'm kidding.
This guy over here, ladies
I'm
and gentlemen, for
kidding.
y'all listening on this channel right
I'm
now, we are actually
kidding.
live on twitch.tv/crazy_AJ.
That's
Thank you for
supposed to be
tuning in.
later.
I know. I'm just messing with you right now, bro.
Okay, so talking about the language barrier, this is the thing with me and like language barrier. I cannot speak any other languages for jack shit. So despite both you and I have taken language classes like way before, but here's the thing though with me. I'm Filipino, and of course, everyone in my family here is from the Philippines, right? Both my parents got adjusted to learning English pretty easily, but of course, there's Lola, which in by the way in Tagalog means grandma, and she can't speak English that well. So in order for me to like speak to her, I kind of had to break up my English a little bit so that way she can understand.
Yep. Yep.
And I totally get it. Like being an immigrant from like a different country and trying to learn the new language, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna need to take like very very small steps in order for you to start understanding. And I did talk about this too with Mio on the very first episode of this show, where
Hmm.
it definitely took both of us time to start understanding English and Japanese towards each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've even had like other people tell me like when I try to talk to them like in English, like they said my English is very understandable. It's easy for them to understand. But at the same time, you don't want to make them feel stupid. That's the one thing
Oh
you always
yeah,
got to
that's
be careful about.
yeah, that's the one thing that you never want to do to these students, man. They come a long way,
Yeah, like
and they're
this
just trying their best.
like this is one like takeaway I would say from today's show is like if you're gonna meet like an international student, try to lower your like English so that way they can understand, but also at the same time don't make them feel stupid. Challenge them a little bit.
That is
That
true. Yeah, that's true. You know what? I wouldn't necessarily say like lower your English. I feel like lower the speed.
oh yeah,
Like,
lower down the speed too.
hell yeah. In my case, oh dude, that was the biggest problem is that I have a bad habit of speaking fast.
Same.
Yeah, I speak super fast, dude. I guess it's just the part of the West Coast that I come from, and you know, there'd be times I would come across a student whose whose English level is actually pretty good. They keep telling me that, oh no, my English is not good, and I'm like, dude, you're completely fine. If I can understand you, then you're already at a point where you're doing great. You made it here, but then say for example, like days later, after spending a good amount of time with, I go off on my speed, and they're just kind of like, I'm sorry, can you say that again, please? Oh, my bad. Let me run that back a little bit.
Yeah.
But say for example, just that saying that I had right now, I speak in heavy slang too, and that doesn't help.
Oh
You know?
yeah, no, definitely. Talking and slang, they're not gonna get a single thing.
Yeah, no, that's a tough part.
Yeah, I
I
remember too, like when I've met some of the Japanese and Korean students for the first time. Like I said, because of my ignorance, I thought, okay, they're gonna be able to understand English pretty well. I start speaking to them
shoot.
how I talk, how you and I normally talk, and then next thing you know, they're like, "Eh, what the hell did you just say?"
They just stare at you. They're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
You don't want to know what's like a bad idea I had back then.
What's up?
There was a time like they wanted to hang out at my dorm, the freshman dorm, and just
Ooh.
play card games, right? Like a few of them. I looked at them as like, do you guys want to play Cards Against Humanity? And then we tried.
Oh no!
I
Oh
tried
no!
playing with them, and the entire session they had their phones out just trying to retranslate it. And once they got the translation, they're like, "What kind of game are we playing?" And I'm like, "Welcome to English test."
So, welcome to English 101, where
The
we're going to
wrong
teach
way.
you the wrong way. We're going to teach you some of the greatest things that you should never use in everyday English.
Yeah, but
Oh, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
about to say, like, I feel like if you learn a new language, you learn the swear words first. I feel like
Oh
that's a common
yeah, it's
thing.
straight up, dude. That was my perfect that was like my perfect like reason. And everyone's like, "Why are you learning so many languages?" And the funniest answer I always give is, "I need to know when people are talking shit." but with all
Straight
that's
facts.
partially true. Yeah, that's partially true. But at the same time, I've always been interested in languages. And I always wanted to learn, just a bunch of different things. So that way, one day if I do travel, which is my dream, when I do travel to these different countries, I could be able to just like talk,
Yeah,
communicate, even if it makes me look like the level of like a child or even like lower than an elementary school kid. But like I will say this, I know that a lot of people, like when I met like the different students coming in, seeing them, try their hardest to speak in English to us, I was like, dude, that's respect right there, man.
yeah,
That's a lot of respect I got to give to you, because you're trying to speak a language that that you didn't grow up with,
exactly.
and I see a bunch of like people from different parts of the world. I'm like, I'm mad jealous. I wish I was bilingual. I wish I was trilingual, man. There were some people that I knew that knew like 4 fluent languages, and I was like, what?
Exactly, yeah.
How do you have the brain capacity for that? Like, that is crazy. And how flawless you can transfer from one language to another. That is probably like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Cause another episode I did with my friend G1 like a long time ago is like when she was an international student here in the US, of course, yeah, it took her a lot of time for her to, understand our language, understand pretty much the culture. But at least she did her homework like before then, because she's actually studying English right now. So of course it
Oh,
makes
that's what's
sense.
up.
It makes sense. Yeah, come here, study it more, and then find a career in that in like Korea or here in America even. So yeah,
Oh
like
yeah.
a lot of students here do a lot of their research. I mean, they're kind of supposed to, but it also you gotta give them mad respect of how far they're taking it. That's why I give G1 a lot of respect for her actually trying to make a career out of this.
Oh, real talk, man. Real talk. If I had if I had like that drive to study that hard, in that case, I'd definitely be somewhere else right now, but or I would probably be able to speak another language pretty well. But that's obviously not the case. And obviously because of the situations that we're currently in right now, I haven't been able to practice, as much as I wanted to.
Same. Um, Also, another funny thing too that you reminded me is that for context, guys, like me and AJ, we had like one class together, and that was a Japanese language class. So yeah,
Oh no.
well, we'll probably save Japanese class stories for like another time. But like, yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of like
yeah.
how both of us like learn Japanese. But I'm curious, AJ, because a lot of Japanese students say this about me when I speak to them. But when you speak Japanese to like a native Japanese speaker, do they always say like you can speak like a native?
See, I've been told that lie every day at school. I was fed lies, man. I
No
mean, but
way.
I will say this, like whenever they told me that, like, oh, you speak really well, it's like, oh, I thought you were like a like native speaker and all that. I was like, what? No, 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 no. I just hang around, enough people to kind of get the sounds going.
That's what I say
I,
too.
I try not to mention the fact that it's like, oh yeah, it's like, how do you know Japanese so well? I watch anime. No, 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 no. That is not the case. I
You just
actually,
called out.
I
You just called out a whole bunch of people studying Japanese right now.
dude, I'm not gonna go there. But that's not necessarily my reason. Yeah, at first it was kind of like the whole thing where I was interested in animations. That's what I grew up with. And yeah, that kind of led me to learning the language. But then after learning, wanting to know more about the culture, meeting a bunch, people from Japan or from Korea, from China, that's when I wanted to learn, how the way that they say things. It's kind of like when students want to learn how the way that us natives how we speak English, because learning from a book is one thing, and yeah, interacting with the natives is like the best way to do it.
Exactly. I'll bring the story up again. What was it? I remember like I was trying to study Japanese, and of course, one of my Japanese buddies at the time, he was there with me, and it's like, oh, let me help you study. I'm like, oh yes, thank you, thank you. He got so mad at me every time I kept messing up a word or a sentence. He's like, no, 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 no. You don't say it like "su." You say it like "z." I'm like, okay, okay, I'm sorry. Let me try it
It's like,
again.
my bad. It's like, yes, mom. Jesus Christ. Yeah, dude. I've been in that situation, and it's kind of funny because it's one of those things that, yeah, I wanted to get help from the native students, but at the same time, I didn't want to, just because of the fact that, like, when we're learning Japanese from a classroom standpoint, oh my god, dude,
Oh, sensei, dude.
it sucks.
Like I
I mean,
said,
it's good,
uh,
but go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, like I said, we can make Japanese class funny stories another episode.
Also, yeah, Brian is not lying. Like, we can straight up make a whole segment of just about like our experiences in our class. But long story short, we did learn a good amount of stuff. Did I walk out with learning how to speak more? Slightly, but all like, with all respect to my Japanese professor. She came in clutch for me so many times, and
Dude,
I
honestly,
understand, like, I understand that she did her job, and she was just doing her best at her job, and yeah, she did. She really did, and that's why I have a lot of respect for her. I'm glad that she basically got on my case every time, because I had her for what, three? I think I had the same teacher for 3 straight semesters.
Whoa.
So I know for a damn fact she was tired of seeing me. She was tired of me, that's for
Like
sure.
this dude.
Oh, dude, did I tell you about the time when I was helping at an event and there was a case where we were making, I think we were making sushi for the Japanese club, and there was one person that came through and was kind of just going off a little bit and making things and all that. And hold on, sorry about that. I need to get water. My I was getting a little dry right there.
Oh, don't worry.
But yeah, no, he started kind of complaining a little bit about a few things, like, oh no, this is not right. This is not how we do things.
Oh
And
no, not one of these guys.
this was the funniest part because I'm minding my own business in the back, and I said a few things in Japanese, just a tad bit, to kind of like go into this a little bit more. When I learn languages, I have a bad habit of learning dialects.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
I have a bad habit of doing that. So
Oh,
what I
man.
did was I was speaking Kansai Ben. And the thing is, she's from Kyoto.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she was from Kyoto, so I was speaking the way that saying things in Japanese that she would say it. And then all of a sudden, as I'm saying these things, she turns to me, like, looks at me, agrees, and starts speaking back to me in Kansai Ben. And then next thing you know, she had to stop herself. She was like, "Wait a minute, how do you know this?" And I was just like, "Uh-oh, I was saying some not safe. I was not saying the safe words, and she caught me." And she was calling out all of my friends, and she's like, "Yeah, no, this person's not from Kyoto. This person." I was like, "Oh, I have another friend that's from there," and I had to like waddle my way out of there because I said some things that you shouldn't be said in front of a professor.
This is literally an Among Us where you kill someone and then another crewmate just walks in and is like, I just saw you kill that man. What did you do? Someone immediately
let's not talk about let's not talk about Among Us because we already know how that can go.
Yeah.
We already know how that can go. But yeah, I've had my moments where I said some things. I would say something in a different language, and someone would hear me, and I'm just like, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to say that.
Hey.
Oops.
But honestly, that is a good way to shit talk to someone in their face. If you and the other person can speak in another language and can shit talk to someone that doesn't speak that language, that is a great way to let all your frustrations out on them.
See, this is why I'm about, what's it called? I have a lot of respect, and I'm also low key scared of students of Chinese descent. Anybody that can speak Mandarin or Cantonese, that is probably the most intense thing right there. Because when they start going off,
oh my god!
when they start going off, and I'm just like, uh-oh, time to leave the room.
We know a certain group that does that, and you and I.
Oh yeah,
like,
straight up. Straight up, and they are my favorite people in the world. I say thank you for dealing with my crazy ass. Straight up, I'm a handful, man. Like, I am a straight up handful. Like, I have my moments where I just go off, and then like that's one thing I realized. Like, my personality is kind of like out there at times where obviously my nickname being Crazy AJ, and that's something I've had since I was a kid, and I'm like, that's kind of telling me something. And and then I would always hear from the international students, just me doing something. I was like, fuck it, let's go do it. And they're like, oh my god, you're crazy. And then my signature catch line, that's how I got my name, baby. And I just walk away.
Wow.
I would say some dumb stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, I still do. But I would have to say, anybody that's able to just tolerate like my energy, thank you, because that is a task on its own. I often think about it at times, all the international students I've met who I've just been myself around, and how they were able to just be like cool with it. I was like, yo, this is like, I have to constantly apologize, like, my bad, I have a lot of energy right now. It's like, my bad, I have my coffee, or this and that. It's pretty intense.
I don't want to get into what you mean by this and that to make yourself crazy.
Yeah, yeah. We like I said, yeah, we can.
That's a
If
story
y'all
for
want to
another time.
if y'all want to find out more about that, like I said, just keep paying attention to apartment 308,
Oh
and that
boy.
way you can definitely learn more about us here on the podcast. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe. But let's go ahead and get back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
My bad. I had to throw that in there.
God damn, editing this is gonna be interesting. But anyway, so
Editing is gonna be a bitch.
so we also kind of did like touch on just a little bit like the main reasons why you and I started pretty much meeting these students. But is there pretty much like an like we said, like we want to learn more about culture, languages, like open our horizons like even more. But like, is there like any other like reason you wanted or like why you started like working for international office, and also why you started hanging out with these types of students more?
Oh yeah, no. This is like I get asked this question quite often, to be honest. But the answer I always give, which is the answer to it, is the reason why I do this is because imagine being in their position, being in their shoes, going somewhere new in the world. You're by yourself, you don't know anybody with you. Even if there's like people from your school going, you've never met them in your life.
Oh yeah.
And you're just going to a new place. I wanted to be there for them, welcome them with open arms, because yeah, it can be pretty crazy. And I just wanted to tell them, like, hey dude, hey, and it's like, hey, you know what, welcome, welcome to our part of the world, welcome to our side of town. I lived here for an X amount of years. I kind of know basically things like the back of my hand. And yeah, like, you're far away from your family, and I can understand where you're coming from, having that anxiety, having like that culture shock. But whatever we can do to help you out, to make sure that your experience here is probably like the greatest it can be, we're gonna do what we can, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, no, I honestly feel you on that because, well, myself as like, from my perspective as of like a freshman back then, again, I was like in that same position, but the only factor that's different was distance. Like, I can go like from my university to where I live now. It's just sorry, my throat's getting a little stuffy. But from the university to my hometown, it's like a 2 hour drive, no big deal. Whereas like these students, they literally came over by plane that took them like hours and hours. And, I felt that way. I was like, I might as well help them out. Like, and it felt good. It felt good, like showing them around, teaching them like more about how we do things here in America. But also, this is another thing too. Like, I realized myself, like as an Asian American, myself, you never really get to like know your real heritage as soon as you live in America. You sometimes you don't get that real like opportunity to know more about your Asian heritage. So honestly, like meeting these different international students, it's like, yeah, you get to learn more about Asian heritage. You get to learn more about like kind of where you came from, where these guys came from, and also I will say this: how different people from different countries handle problems so differently from how we handle problems. You ever notice
Oh
that?
yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one right
Like,
there.
I learned so much from like a lot from like the Japanese, Koreans, and like the Chinese students, like how they deal with the problems we have. It's so different. I'm like, wait, you're telling me I could have done this the entire time? God damn, I feel so stupid.
Oh, you're telling me, man. Like, I guess with me just being a brute state of mind, like I'll just go with like, man, let's just go with this. Then it's all good. This is how I handle things. They're like, have you ever thought of trying this? I was like, you're right. Oh my goodness. Like,
Honestly,
where have I been? Oh my goodness. Why didn't I get opened up to these like options? Jeez.
again, it's definitely when you meet international students, it's definitely eye opening. You get to learn like a lot more about their culture, their language, their heritage, maybe even your heritage too. Who knows? And also, yeah, how they deal with everyday life versus how we handle through everyday life. Like, yeah, that shit actually hits you hard, man. Not gonna lie.
It brings up a whole new perspective of things, man. It really does.
Exactly.
Like, and it's pretty crazy because it makes me think about, okay, maybe I should maybe I should kind of like take a step back, and rather than just going through how I normally do things, why don't I try something a little bit different? And
Oh yeah,
not only it's
definitely.
funny because they're the ones teaching us things, without even like intentionally doing it. They're just being themselves. And it's one of those things that you had to kind of like pay attention to your surroundings, because that's when you realize a lot of things. That's you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, I see where they're going with this. Maybe I should give this a shot and see if it works for me. And if not, I'll sit back and reflect and continue on and try to better myself, or learn more in a sense.
Yeah, I will share like one thing that actually that some of the Japanese students shared with me before. So I mentioned this before in the friendship episode I did a while back too with Amy. Is that like when I was a kid, I used to get bullied like a lot because I used to be such a huge like Nintendo fan, where everyone else is all like PlayStation versus Xbox, and there's me with just a Nintendo Wii. But then I shared that story with like a couple of Japanese students, and they said, "Why do you guys always keep taking things, too hard on yourself when you hear input from other people? What you should be doing is just ignoring that. Just keep making yourself happy. Stop listening to everyone else. Just make yourself happy. Do what you want to do." I was like, "Damn, I wish you could have told my younger self that."
Shoot, I agree with you on that. It's just like, man, why do we take others like input, so seriously? And why do we
Exactly.
take it so personally? It's just like, man, you know what? You're right. You are right.
And shout outs to you guys who told me that, because yeah, honestly, I mean, of course, like if I'm doing something wrong, like feel free to tell me. If I'm doing something wrong, just tell me. I want to resolve the problem. But like yeah, most of the time, just make yourself happy. Stop listening to everybody else what's saying. If they're talking like real shit about you, then just be like, bye, bitch. I ain't gonna listen to you no more.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. In the words of BG, if people are giving you a hard time, and you know what, just say this: 2 words. Bye, bitch.
God, we are
This
great.
kid.
we we are great influences, AJ.
Man, let's not even get to that, man. I will say this, like, let's just say I definitely influence some students, I mean, in both good ways and bad ways. And
Oh boy.
I'm kind of just like, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't have been, super real with this person, because now they're going back to their home country, just being complete hard ass. And I'm like, it's good because they were insecure, but now they're just like, yo, it's like you took your insecurities and made them other people's. I was like, oh God. And I was like, no, that's not what I meant to do, man. I want you to stand up for yourself, not stand up for yourself and then step on others. Like, come on, bruh.
Yeah, no, that's too far. Don't step on others, please.
Please, we don't condone that. Even if someone's be like, hey, please step on me, no matter who it may be,
Whoa,
just don't do
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Just don't
whoa,
do it. But that's for
whoa,
another
whoa, whoa.
topic to cover.
And let me check my monetization real quick. Oh wait, I'm not monetized yet. Hold on.
It's all good. They gonna let a few things slide. No, like I was telling you, VG, this isn't one of those things of having me on here. I'll come out with some backhanded comments, just for the lulls, man.
So anyway, one thing I honestly wanted to ask you, AJ, is since you had like a whole bunch of experience meeting different people from different countries, what's the one thing you tell people to say, this is how you survive America?
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of
This is another
influence,
one.
speaking of influence,
So, that I mean that is a big question right there. It's like, what's one thing, like the one thing that I always tell people, to survive America. I always tell them this: don't be alone when you go to places. Always be
oh my
like, if you're
god,
if you're
yes.
going if you're traveling to somewhere new, have a group of people with you, or someone that you may know close by, because anything can happen. I mean, that's just in any part of the world.
Yeah.
I always tell them, just always stay safe, and always be aware of your surroundings.
I would like to add on too, check your pockets. Always check your
Oh
pockets.
yes, yes.
Because I
Keep
have
your belongings close.
I've have heard of stories where some students like they go to San Francisco or like somewhere in Spain, for example, and next thing you know, their passport is missing. I'm like, what? I'm like, no way, y'all missing your passport, and they have to go through like customs and shit, just like telling them like, I lost my passport. So please, if you're gonna come here to America or like you're going out traveling in general, always check your pockets, check your bags, check everything. Make sure you have the essential stuff with you. That's
You know how people have like that shoulder bag that goes like across the chest and all that. You know, some people thought that was like a fashion statement. No, bitch, that's an international traveler making sure that his shit don't get stolen right in front of him.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Also, what's funny enough, I have a few friends in SF. Whenever we go out to do stuff, like I'm carrying like a sports bag with like my camera, like my wallet, and my keys in there, which is okay because like how can someone steal something in that sports bag if it's like super strapped on tight? But then my friends are also kind of smart. Like they're actually carrying fanny packs on them because like for one thing it's in front, like it's on in front of them, there's a zipper right in front of them, despite like it being in front of them. Is like, oh, you're trying to steal my shit in front of me? Not today.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna front though. There are people out there that will just, go all out, and then that's one thing that's like one thing that that I always have fears about. With the international students being like here, is something can happen. Like
Exactly.
something can happen, but that it can happen to any of us, and like anywhere in the world. So it's safety is like the biggest thing. Yeah, of course, I look out for myself, I look out for family, look out for my friends, but at the same time, just people that you may not know, something can suddenly go down. You're just like, uh-oh. Like
Exactly.
that's why I always tell them to just keep your belongings, like your personal stuff, like super close with you, to the point where you're not like you're gonna be like inside of it at all times and all that stuff. They're in like all depending on the region that they're at. I always tell
Yeah.
them, there's like a good subset of advice that I kind of give them, or just like tips to like keep in mind when being out in this area.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, so traveling ain't really that big of an issue. But let this be a lesson for you when you do go travel as soon as the pandemic is over. Just yeah,
Real talk, real
yeah.
talk.
Just make sure you have your belongings. So speaking of the pandemic, of course, everyone is resulted doing to online learning. There's travel bans all around. So I'm curious, AJ, is during these weird times, are you still able to meet like new international students or people in a sense,
I
or not
wouldn't.
really?
So as far as like meeting new international students, that's like a hard no. Because of the fact that they're not coming here, and then at the same time, I wouldn't recommend that they would. Just because of the fact of just the situation is crazy. There's things that can happen like in a blink of an eye, and it's pretty crazy. But as far as meeting like new people from different parts of the world, that definitely doesn't that definitely hasn't stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, it's gonna like let's see, just because of the fact that I haven't really had the chance to talk to people live and all that, I actually resorted tuning into Twitch a little bit more, because some of my friends have channels. They just talk about a few things. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do this, and then I follow a few pages, and suddenly I get recommended to other channels, and then next thing you know, that's how I met like a bunch of people like in the communities that I'm a part of, that are freaking
Mm-hmm.
amazing. They're like, to say the least, dude. Like, I swear to God, like there's some of the people that you may never, like, at some point may not, or I hope we do meet in real life. But the people that do their thing like on Twitch, like on a regular basis, dude, I'm just like, yo, y'all are amazing people. Like, straight up, like you can just pretty much like set up a camera and be able to just like be yourself, like to tens, hundreds, thousands, who knows how many people out there. And and it's cool because when you meet the people in like in the chat rooms, that's when you figure out, oh yeah, I'm from this part of the world, I'm from over here, I'm over here. And then that way it's like you can kind of relate to a few things. It's like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then Discord is a thing. You go into a Discord and you meet all these different people, and next thing you know, you're just like buddy buddy best friends. And
Honestly,
it's
yeah.
cool. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm with you on that because God, I keep mentioning this server so many times, but you know what? I'm gonna keep promoting them because I'm a good friend. So earlier in 2020, I actually did join a Discord server called Japanese Ichi Ichi, where of course it's ran by three people I met, not in person. Well, actually, one of them in person, but I met all three of them, and they're like super nice. And in that server, of course, we practice Japanese with each other, whether it's talking, writing a sentence, grammar structure, and all that stuff. And they even have like Zoom lessons every other Thursday. But I don't attend because I'm actually asleep at the time they start it, which I feel really bad for. But yeah, it's like you said, AJ. When you hop onto like a community Discord like that, it feels nice because again, you are still getting interaction with new people, and it just still feels great. You know, despite we're not seeing each other face to face. And same thing with the internship I'm in too. Like I never met these people from in person in the internship before, but honestly, after joining them and talking to them, like on Slack and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I met new friends. This is actually really satisfying. I enjoyed this a lot.
Oh, straight up, especially like I said, in this situation, meeting new people, we're like, it's like one of those things that if you're like locked away for the longest time, and then someone shows up, and you're like, people, what, where, and then you like run to them, and you want to be able to say. I feel like that's gonna happen when everyone goes back to like in person stuff. Like we're gonna be
Right.
so socially awkward, like we're not gonna know what to do with ourselves.
Just next time, like I come by the university, it's like, wait, who are you again? What did we used to do?
I'm gonna do that on purpose because there's. I mean, I'm not. I'm just gonna throw it out there. There are some people over there that I do not want to see. So I'm like, oh, oh, it's you. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Wait, you
That's so.
exist?
That's oh. You want to acknowledge their existence, but not acknowledge them. It's like what? Oh
Yeah,
man, I'm a horrible person.
yeah, we're great influences, guys. You should listen. That's why you should listen more to our shows.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like you would learn a lot of things. You can good things about us, bad things about us. But yeah, I guess at the same time, like we're just we're just saying it out how it is, man. We're not like sugarcoating just because of the fact that like it's getting put out there. But we're just showing y'all who we are and whatnot.
Sometimes I feel like they're scared of us. Sometimes.
Oh, if we're talking about the international students, I'm not gonna front. I've been told by a good amount of them that they were scared of me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was kind of bad. It's like I said, I have a lot of energy, and I have a lot of energy when I like go hang out with people. I try to be like really cool with people, like just be myself. But then at the same time, not a lot of people can be used to that. It's
Exactly.
just it's especially what's it called? Asian international students. I could be I here in this state, small talk is a thing. Like you can go to the store and just say hello to anybody. They'll just kind of wave and be like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going?" Okay, cool. That's pretty much it. And yeah, and then people will be so confused. Like, do you know that person? Like, nah, we're just making small talk. That's just a thing here.
Yeah.
Acknowledge people. We say hi, this, and that. And then, I would do that to other students. Like, I would do that. Like, hey, how's it going? If I've seen them around, but like, hey, how's it going? And they're just like, eh? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Let me introduce myself. I saw you hanging around so and so, and just because I've seen you often, I just wanted to say hi. And I get it. It's like in being intimidated, just by the natives, being by the people there, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. Hold on. Okay, let me disclose this on the show. I am actually live on Twitch right now, and someone in chat had basically said, I get so intimidated by the locals, especially if they're around my age. They'd usually be hanging around like in their
Oh,
own circles, their own cliques, and yes, I can definitely agree. I
I
was that one that was unfortunately intimidating these students because
yeah, I see the chat too. Don't worry, I have your Twitch window open.
oh, thank you for promoting and thank you for supporting. But yeah, I've been told by many of them, like, "Yo, dude, we were scared of you when we first met you." I was like, "Why?" What? And I was like, "Yo, can you tell me why?" I was like, "My bad, I didn't mean to like do that." She's like, "No, no, no." But like later on, like we found out that you were a really good guy. You were very kind, very nice. I was like, I was all getting like shaken up inside. I was like, "Yo, I'm cringing because I'm just like, yo, this is weird for me." But I was like, "Nah, dude, it's all good. That's what I'm here for. I want to make sure that you're having a good time." And then back in my head, I'm just
Yeah,
like, "Yo, this is so bad. Why did I scare them? Like, how did I scare them? Like, what did like that just that image plays over my head, and
yeah.
it's pretty funny."
Yeah, going back real quick to like my Sri Lankan best friend. Again, when I first met him, I used to be so shy back then. I had that personality saying like, "Don't talk to me." And yeah, I remember him telling me so like, "Damn, Brian, you were a hella quiet kid. I don't know why I used to act like a bitch back then, but now you're my best friend." So I was like, uh,
Tell me why. Tell me why. It ain't nothing but a heart rate. But what's it called? Tell me why I heard it in Homeboy's voice, dude. When you said it, you had that down to the T. Like,
again,
holy crap.
you know who you are. I'm sorry if I'm calling you out on the on the episode right now, but I'm sorry, man. But yeah,
Hey,
it's just
man.
saying.
It's all love. It's all love, man.
Yeah, but again, it's like you because of the personalities we have. Again, it's not familiar with these guys yet, and also the fact that us Asians were kind of shy to each other at first, but then once one of us opens up, we're like, okay, now you're cool. It was exactly that. That's exactly what happened to me. And also the because you and I had like a lot of mutual friends, AJ. Most of them I did meet was actually like through you. And again, like I didn't know anyone back then. Once you and a few others invited me out to do a few things, I'm like, I feel comfortable now. I can actually get used to this.
The fact that you said you met a lot of people through me, I was like, oh no, what did I do?
What do you
Wait a minute.
mean? What do you mean?
Nah, man, it's pretty crazy. It's like, especially like, I guess like having, I can't really say much of an like impact, but just having that influence, being able to get people to get up and get out of their shell, and in this case, like you said, you were extremely shy, very to yourself, and then finally, getting up and out there and just being, I want to like step forward and meet new people. I want to like make the most of this. Like, let's just go. Like, let's
Yeah.
put all this behind us and let's keep moving forward. And I'm glad that I can help with that, dude. Because I mean, look at you now. This the boss motherfucker over here, dude. Like, I'll say this much. Over
Wait,
here, just like making moves, doing some crazy stuff, and you definitely say some ratchet shit now, BG. I will say that,
wait,
and
like
it's
what?
funny.
Wait, hold on a second.
Have how we were talking about the whole thing about monetization, being having stuff
Oh my
monetized. Look, we
god.
can go ahead and say that. We can, if you really want to know what we're talking about, feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video, and then
Oh
you can get
no.
to know more stuff about the man, the myth, the legend, Sir BG of Apartment 308.
Wow, I never thought I would get that title. Thank you.
I'm telling you, man. I'm just trying to plug. I'm just trying to plug. I want you out there, bro. You're doing your damn thing on this. Like, I want you to be able to be out there, man.
Yeah, no, thank you, honestly. And yeah, if you guys see like my previous episodes, I did invite like yeah, again, old friends that I haven't seen in a while. And feedback like after the show, like they feel so great. Like they get to talk to me again. It feels like we're back in person. And, we just keep saying, we wish we would see each other again, either in like another country or back in the U.S. It's honestly a great feeling.
Shit, shit. Hold up, wait. I gotta stop things for a quick minute. So my chat's getting bombarded right now, and I literally my slow ass finally realized who is showing up, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh my god. Oh snap! We got the squad up in here. We got the
Wait,
squad.
so I like AJ said earlier in the beginning of the show, he is actually live streaming this session on Twitch, and I'm looking at his chat right now. I don't want to call anyone of y'all out yet because I'm still recording, Please bring
What the
lechon to
fuck
my
you mean?
house.
You're in full effect. You have all the power. You have the files. We can call them out. You have you ever
Yeah,
heard of
no.
editing and deleting?
I
Oh, AD, you got that is the best question right there. I'm gonna bring that up, but I'm gonna bring that up in a little bit, because
well, we'll bring, we'll save it after the recording. We're kind of we're running out of time a little bit, but so
running out of time. I got nothing but time. Let's keep going.
I mean, we could still talk more like shit like after the recording, but
Oh
anyway,
yeah, of course. We can have the extended B-roll, extended clips. We gonna have the behind the scenes kind of stuff going on. Just be ready
anyway.
for all of that.
So one of the kind of like last things I want to ask is like when new students do come here, is there like a particular thing or like a place you take them or you let them do? Like what's like the like always number one thing you let them do?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like where this is going. When it comes to when they first get here, there is a bunch of areas. The first things first, you got to take them shopping. They've been on a plane
Oh
for how
my.
long? They just want to get their necessities, lay down in a bed, unpack, and just wind down for the day. And all depending, like I'll take them to like different like what's it called, like grocery stores, supermarkets, and just some of the solid places here in town,
So
especially
basically, oh sorry. So
go
basically
ahead. Oh no, you good.
getting them all the essentials to like start
Hell
off.
yeah. And then as a Cali thing, this is what we got to do. We got to take them to In and Out. Straight
Hell
up. That's like
yes.
the first week break-in.
Hell
It's like, yo,
yes.
I was like, do you like burgers? Do you like hamburgers? Okay, cool. Let me tell you about a place over here that we call In and Out. If you like eating a lot and you like not have that much money, shit, you good. If you don't have any, if you don't got any money, I got you. Don't even trip. I want you to
Exactly.
remember this. Cause this burger, ooh, best
And
believe that's gonna be one of the
and
best
for a
burgers.
good and for a good price too. That shout out to In and Out.
Shouts out, shouts out.
Yeah, no,
To the
I
X marks the spot palm trees in front of every store. If y'all didn't know that, go to an In and Out and look out front, and you'll see a palm tree shaped in an X.
that's a
A lot
tourist
of them.
attraction.
That's the thing. Wishy, do not do it. It's a trap. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're trying to figure out why I'm saying this, I'm reading chat right now. A good friend of mine, I was like, I need to try it out. Okay, I'm booking a flight to Cali right now. Nah, man, keep it at that. I'll book a flight going to you because I would rather be where you are than where I'm at right now. But
Honestly, though. Okay, but yeah, no. For me, what's funny about In and Out is actually since, like I said before, some of these students actually do their research about like where they're going to. I remember one student came up to me and it's like, Brian, you gotta take me to In and Out. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's just fucking
I
go.
would have been like, you want to do what with what? I'm sorry, huh? Wait, what? What were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about In and Out Burger. I got you. I got you.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
And
you
I
know what?
go,
Hey, yeah, hey, man. Like I said, man, you gotta show him how it is animal style. Cause that, yes,
if you take that out of context, then
dude. Can you imagine putting an episode of the things that we say on your show, but take it out of context?
I mean that's what I mean. I'm gonna do a highlight reel soon, but
Ooh, okay. This is gonna be good. I'm looking forward to that.
oh man, yeah, no, the stupid shit that I say on these shows sometimes. I'm like, why did we talk about this again?
Trust me, if you get me on another topic and if we keep it going, best believe you're gonna have to scuff that episode. You keep that as
Oh
like a
no.
what's it called, a YouTube subscriber exclusive right there or something.
Yeah. But one thing for me, whenever I meet like one of the internet, like a couple of the international students, I pretty much do one thing, and that's pretty much just have a party in my room. That's pretty much like one of the things I do with these guys. Well, okay, for partying, I don't mean like all out drinking where one of us blacks out, one guy's puking in the toilet, another guy went missing, not like that. But just like
Um, I'm about to Kanye you real quick on this one. Hey, I know you had some lit parties, but I'm gonna let you finish. But what you just described was exactly what happens at lovely apartment 308.
What? Wait. Okay, no, we'll talk about roommate stories part two soon.
You're gonna love that episode. So I strongly recommend that you tune in on that one. Straight up.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, no, I get you. You want to be able to welcome them here. Want to have like some celebrations, dinner, drinks, movie nights, game nights. Yeah, you did everything, dude. Like from what I remember, you did the whole damn thing,
yeah, again,
and it
that's
was cool because everyone knew like you were known for that, like straight up.
yeah, and that's why I kind of named the channel like apartment 308 because again, that was the room that kind of brought everybody together. And so that yeah, that's like the goal of the channel. Like I want to bring people together, just hang out like we used to do back in the room. Just chilling, just talking random and stupid shit sometimes.
Oh, best believe those conversations were completely off the wall. Like anybody, yeah. My bad. I just read a comment right now. It's like, yeah, we got reported together.
Don't
Let's
bring
just,
that up, bro. I see that in chat. Please don't bring that up.
hey, it didn't help that you had the residential advisor right next door to your apartment. I
But
mean,
we got away with it like majority of the time.
yeah, because they realized that when they opened, like, we got a noise complaint and we're cooking dinner, and they're like, oh, um,
What are you
we got a
talking
noise
about?
complaint, and I'm like, do you was it, you got a noise complaint, but we're trying to cook food right now. We're trying to make sure everything is on lock,
Yeah,
and
no.
you're kind of ruining this moment for us,
It's just so like, excuse me, these guys leave in about like in a month or so, and you're trying to ruin it for them. Okay, party pooper.
But would you like a plate of food for your troubles of coming by? Kind of shit. That's hella Filipino right there. If you gonna get snitched out by somebody, but you still gonna offer the person some food later, so that way you say, "Hey, this is a peace offering. Take it or leave it."
I remember a particular story, AJ, that you told me, but we'll get into that like after the session's
Oh
over.
yeah, yeah. We'll definitely speak on that, man. I definitely had some moments that that have definitely gotten to the vault, and I unfortunately made my my friends from different countries look at me in a specific manner. They're like, oh. And then when they find out that I'm joking, they're just like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, yeah, it's the type of cards I play sometimes.
Oh
But
boy.
yeah, like all in all, like getting to know different people from like around the world, either even like through school, outside of school, it's always a learning experience. It's something that I always enjoy like doing, and it's just meeting new people in general, but people that come from different backgrounds that have different values. It's always fun. It's always nice to learn from them. Get to learn like the way they approach things, the way they handle things, and seeing how different things are, that because we obviously they're seeing it from like a window. They're seeing from the outside in. We're just we have our stereotypes of different people from around the world, and then finally getting to know them and knowing how it's just basically the same thing with us. It's like, oh yeah, we heard that you guys are like this. We heard this. Is this true? This is that. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're right. Kind of thing. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty funny at the same time.
Yeah. No, honestly though, but unfortunately, due to the sake of time, we are gonna have to wrap it up here. What I'll probably do is, since I actually had one more question to ask you, is that funny stories. But what I'll do is I'll start another recording, make that like its own session where we just just be ourselves and just talk about funny stories. And also, if you guys want to continue listening on to these stories, make sure you check out AJ's Twitch channel at Crazy AJ over on twitch.tv. Go check him out.
And be sure, if you want to tune into a lot more of these stories and interactions that we have with each other, and just to get to know us here at the homies at Apartment 308, be sure to check out BG's main channel. He's the main head honcho of this whole thing. You can call him the big boss. Go ahead and go to youtube.com/apartment308 and check out all the podcasts and all of the interviews and all of the fun topics that we got all on the channel. Trust me, you're gonna love it. So please stop by when you get the chance. Go ahead and drop a like on the episode, like and subscribe, share with people, and let us know if you relate to a few things because we would love to hear like your input on our stories. If
Yeah.
we would have really appreciated y'all.
Damn, you just did my entire outro, but thank you.
That's what I do, man.
All right.
Gotta plug the homies.
So, like AJ said, make sure you subscribe to Apartment 308, like the podcast, comment some of your stories, share with all your friends. And once again, thanks again so much to AJ for joining on today's episode.
And thank you, BG, for having me on and being a part of the first ever Apartment 308 podcast live streamed here on Twitch.
Oh, yes, sir. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
Take care, y'all.